Vacation, Laurie Kilmartin.
It's happening. Doot. All right, so I forgot to tell you that when I did record my new special last weekend, Saturday, the album, whatever, the Saturday first show went so well. Spoiler alert, I did not get a standing ovation. But it went so well that for a moment, I thought I was going to get one. I thought we'd lead off with this humiliating moment, but it kind of, I mean, the thing is it meant that the show went so well, I felt like I deserved one. And the normal sort of movement of people at their tables made me think, oh, it went so well, I bet you I'm going to get one. And I didn't get one, but
can I say I'm glad, and that's awesome. So you probably have a base show, you just maybe have to swap out a few things, right?
That's it. I didn't do one joke. I forgot one joke in that set, to my knowledge. After this, I have spent the week not listening and not working on those sets.
Thank you.
Finally
Welcome to my world.
vindicated. Exactly.
Yes.
It was. I had a weird like travel cold. I had a cold.
Right.
So we got back on Tuesday night, right? And so Carmen Morales, who was house sitting and dog sitting for us, came and picked us up at 9:00 at LAX. And
nice. And she did airport duty?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. It was all part of the service.
Part of the deluxe plan you purchased?
Yes. We upgraded. And and it included, what the benefits she got out of it was she got to use my car all week. And she, we drove her to the airport at 4 a.m.
Oh
like 6 hours later, because her flight was at 6 a.m. So,
guys, again, Burbank. I can't tell you how much easier it is to fly out of Burbank.
But try to get a taxi. Did you see that Uber and Lyft were on?
I get taxis every day. You can get taxis every day out of Burbank. It's so easy. I take a taxi every time I leave Burbank.
No, not leaving Burbank, going to.
I haven't called to Burbank, but I don't know. I mean, isn't it? You can still, if you can drop me off at LAX, they can drop you off at Burbank, and it's easier for them, right?
Well, but the thing is it's no. I mean, getting to the taxis. You would think that the fact that Lyft and Uber are under-serviced right now, everybody quit. As soon as the California Prop 22 passed, everybody found out that there was absolutely no way to make a livable wage unless you worked something like 70 hours a week, 75 hours a week. And so Prop 22 gutted it. They no longer get the surge pricing. It's bad. So there's almost no Lyft and Uber anymore. And so now we call the taxi service. You would think that they would rise to the occasion. They would start, they'd be like, oh, well, now there's work again. Nope. They're still not showing up.
You think 80-year-old Greek men are going to rise to the occasion? I mean, those are all the cab drivers in LA.
That's true. It's
Can I also say, to your earlier point, I think we deserve a standing ovation when we bomb. Okay, if we kill, that's our enough payment. But when we're up there trying new shit and bombing, that's when we deserve a standing O.
Interesting. That's never happening. So
I know.
But back to that. But back to my previous point is so. It took me days to recover from the too many airports, too many people, too many, and it used to just take me. Yeah. Used to just take me a day, and then and now I got some sort of cold or something. So. Like Wednesday night, I took some cold medicine and I went to bed and I slept it out most of Thursday. Did a set Thursday night, wasn't feeling great, just didn't touch anybody. Just stayed. I was in a mask the whole time, and then and left. Got to see Dana Gould. I stayed for that, and that was a delight. And and then, but as of today's Saturday. Yeah, as of, I would say, probably last night I was feeling better. So, yeah.
That's good. My goal is to get out of New York without getting a breakthrough case.
Yeah.
Like it felt like New York was fine in terms of like it wasn't rampant, like like you read in Florida and Arkansas, Louisiana, etc. But then I just read someone's Twitter feed of an art gallery opening or something like that, and 6 people in New York City that were inside the gallery. I'm like, oh my god. I'm in clubs. I'm not masked. I'm not. I'm in front of these people for 15 minutes at a time.
And New York is very small. It is every space. Is not a vaulted ceiling with 400 people in it.
Correct. So fingers crossed on this one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's changing so quickly. It's accelerating so quickly.
We're back. Andy's like, I would like to sort of be back into as close to full lockdown as possible, and so I ordered groceries from the Instacart.
Really?
Instacart, yeah. Didn't go to the store. Just got groceries delivered. And
my feeling is if you're masked and vaxxed, you're in a really good place. I'm only worried about when we're unmasked inside a club doing sets. You know what I mean?
Right. And it's supposed to just be like a bad cold if you're vaxxed. So
or worse. It can feel worse. Somebody, I think Katie Rossman, who's a writer for the Washington Post, tweeted that her husband had a really not a hospitalization, but he was like 102, 103 fever for a couple of days and just felt horrific. So it's not, you could have like a pretty shitty couple days if you get a break. It's not guaranteed to be just sneezes, but
right. Well, and you think about so we flew home on Tuesday night. When we landed, I was just checking my email, and of course the news pops up. There's tens of thousands of people in the streets in Milwaukee because of the basketball team won the finals. And
you just got out right before that, though, right?
Right. So the game was that night, that Tuesday night. So and so the entire town went bananas. And
in the streets is a little different than in the sheets.
Wait,
that's the wrong phrasing.
That's the way it goes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a little. I was thinking, if I'm on stage, am I mostly breathing? I'm mostly breathing through my mouth, which is less. Like you should breathe through your nose because your nose has a lot. I forget what they're called, but they will block a lot more aerosols.
Bacilli. It's what whales have. No, that's not what it's called at all. Anyway, it's those.
But you know what?
They're tiny hairs.
You just yes. So, or something else even that's even like tinier, and we have trillion. It's one of those things where you have trillions of it on the pin of a needle, like one of those things, right? But it's in your nose. So that's why like in yoga classes, this is so dumb, but they're like, all right, just breathe through your nose. Okay, that'll stop it. Good idea. But it's better than nothing, I guess. But I'm just trying to figure out. And then, but when you're speaking, you sort of breathe. You're breathing in as you're speaking. I don't know.
There's more mouth breathing. There's more mouth breathing when you're on stage. So
it's true.
It's the way it goes.
Let's hope these. I just need this vaccine to hold for 2 more nights.
And then you're home again.
And then go to town. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's got to hold again a couple more times. But yeah. So I have 4 sets tonight.
You're back. You're totally back. How many sets have you done so far?
I've done either Tuesday I had 2 sets, and then the rest of the nights have been 3 or 4 sets, right? So
nice. And they all pay?
Yeah, they all pay.
Yes.
But you spend money going to and fro, but still.
Sure. No, I'm not saying you're making bank, but I'm saying you're making something which is so big.
Yeah, I think with a plane fare, it's like it's usually a break even when I pop out, right?
Right.
But it's New York. It's so like I just finished working at Alameda, right? And I'm like, all right, these chunks are like in good shape. And then you go to New York and all of a sudden this like opening, like there's an opening joke to a check that's like a B-, but it leads into an A, an A joke, right? And in New York, it's like, oh, you better go right to the A joke, or we're gonna throw shit at you. You know what I mean? Like, it was
Right.
like total silence on the one that needs work, and I was like,
the energy in the room is different. Yeah.
I'll work it out later. You're gone, joke. I will work on you another time when the stakes are lower. But so I rearranged a lot of bits and made them tighter and stuff. But also, like, I heard me like, oh, I thought I had like 20 new minutes that I worked out on Zoom, and now it's like 13.
But 13 is but that's hilarious because that makes total sense, right? And I have go ahead.
Oh, but it feels like in New York, it feels like you're working at 3 TV spots in a row, right? 3 5-minute sets that are boom, 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 boom. And when you're doing like a 45, 50, 55-minute set, whatever, it's you can wander around the woods a little bit,
Mm-hmm. I because I recorded, don't know what jokes to do.
Sure.
And don't care to some extent. So, like, I got up on stage. I felt free, and I said things differently on stage, and I was like, you gonna drink right into your headphones?
I love it.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know you could hear it. Jesus.
No, that's
sorry.
Okay. It's Laurie's repotting her fish. So, but the
wow, I didn't hear a thing. I didn't realize it was so loud. Wow.
I was just sort of meandering around some older jokes, and trying not to write the definitive punchline for them, and that'd be ideal. And and then I didn't try my new joke. I wanted to try my new joke, but I was going up first, and I haven't done a set since, and I wanted it to go well. I wanted it to be fun, but go well.
Right.
So, Fraser Smith hosted. Fucking forget about Fraser Smith and those awesome, some of them.
Oh my God.
One-liners, man, amazing.
Oh my God, the snapping. Yeah, I love him. He's great. He's an icon.
The guy's an icon.
He's an LA icon. It's funny. Marina Franklin had a really. She's talking about having breast cancer, and she had a really, really funny joke and she was just working it out too, where it's like, oh my God, you have such a great joke at the end that, what you can take 2 minutes if you want and try to find other shit because you have that fucking killer line at the end. I can't hear Jackie. Can you, Kyle?
Do you know why? Because I went away. I didn't want anyone. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I can.
Because I moved my mic so that I could take some drinking, but not make noise.
Wow. Okay. You know what? That was some really passive aggressive parenting right there.
Let's get aggressive. Why don't you watch when you're drinking? No, it's oh
my God. I like the pre-album Jackie a lot better than post-album. I'll tell you that.
Do you like the quiet Kinkos, Jackie? When the rage was whispered.
Sexy Jackie, yeah. Bring her back.
Bring her back. You did a sexy ad too, and you had the sexy voice for ads, and then I had the sexy rage. There's a new. This will come out Monday, so yesterday would be Sunday. Tig Notaro's animated special is coming out on HBO Max, and it's being done by the guy who did my LA Pet thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he also did Kyle Kinane's fucking bunnies who are fucking. And the guy's great. He won an Oscar. The whole team is great. But they won an Oscar last year for Hair Love, the short. And I can't wait to see it. I haven't purposefully watched somebody else's comedy, like comedy on television, since I think the Hannah Gadsby thing. I think I accidentally, my mother-in-law put the Ellen DeGeneres one on, and I saw that, and it was good. It was fine, but
it was very relatable. Talking about your butlers and
we got to talk about what you know.
Sure, I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but it was, the Tig Notaro one, I'm looking forward to seeing what Greg Franklin did with the background, because even the trailer's hilarious. And I guess she does some crowd work. She does some crowd work, and the crowd work is animated as well, which is outstanding. I can't wait. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
So what's left for us? Comics without this access? We just tell jokes and hope people want to watch us talk. Is that it?
Well, yeah, that turns out that is indeed the gig. I picked up a week in Vegas.
Oh, which room?
The Trop. The Laugh Factory one. So
okay.
Yeah.
Is it a Monday through Sunday, or?
It's a Monday through Thursday.
What? Weird.
I know. 2 shows a night.
Nice.
Gonna give it a shot. I have been wanting to play blackjack for about 3 years and been unwilling to go into an Indian casino when I drive by them because I'm in a rush. And and then plus destination gambling. Gambling should be done because you happen to be in a town where there's gambling.
And you happen to be walking out on your way to someplace else, and you just drop a dollar in a slot.
Right. Well, no, for me with blackjack, this is how I go in. I am willing to set $40 on fire. Because that's how much I would spend on video games if there was a decent arcade. And that's the other thing about Vegas. They have really good arcades. They have good uprights. And they also have good Korean food, which I'm looking forward to. So I'm looking forward to going, actually.
A lot in those 3 days. That's really, that's very exciting.
Yeah, that'll be super fun, I think. Because I think 3 days, 4 days will kind of be all you kind of want out of it. So that's all right.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't worked Las Vegas in a really long time. The last time I worked the Riviera, and
wait,
and
was
it was
that
like
guy?
they had one of those,
that Goomba dude?
I know Sharippa.
Yeah, was it him?
I don't know. I can't remember if he booked it when I did it. I think he booked the Rio and not the Riviera, but I don't remember who booked me. So it might have been him. But they had one of those old-fashioned, like 1960s era Las Vegas marquees where you had to put up the letters manually. So it's pretty cool.
That is cool.
The name up there. Yeah. I mean, I was like the 5th name on the thing, but still.
What was the first time you played Vegas? Because that was the most exciting, I think.
MGM Grand, Winston O'Rourke booked it. And I worked with, I forget who I worked with first, but the times I worked there, I worked with Carl LeBeau and Ron Schock. And those are the only 2 people I worked with, but I worked there several times. So one or both of them requested me again.
That's great. What year was that?
It was fun.
Because you're West Coast, so it was probably earlier than me.
It was it was before I moved to New York, so it was pre-98.
Right. Mine was, I think, after 2000 because I was out here and it was easier because they wouldn't pay for air. They wouldn't pay for air from Minneapolis. So I worked the Excalibur, Catch a Rising Star. That Kevin
Kearney.
Kearney. Yeah, not Meaney. Yeah. Kevin Meaney's a comic. Kevin Kearney.
May he rest.
May in peace.
Yes.
And
Kevin Kearney, I talked to a lot on the phone, but he never booked me. It was always almost going to happen. I talked to him a couple times, but whatever.
We ended up hanging out for some reason. We ended up being sort of like when you hang out with the booker and go to lunches and go to dinners with people where you're like, are we friends? I think we might be friends.
Well, one time I called him and he's like, you got me on a ski lift. I'm like, well, I didn't on purpose know you're on a ski lift. You answered the fucking phone, man. Hang up. Not my fault. What I loved about Vegas and also working, did you ever work Reno?
Yes, I worked the Catch in Reno.
Okay, yeah. I worked the Hilton. John Fox booked whatever was at the Hilton, like the name kept changing, but he booked it for a long time. And I love that you always get to eat in the cafeteria with the employees. To me, that was the most glamorous part of the entire casino gig.
Man, that got super ugly as for some reason in the 2000, the cafeteria got worse and worse and worse. I really did love working the Silver Legacy, Catch a Rising Star that Kevin Curdy booked in Reno, because they gave you, and it was also disgusting, but they gave you tickets for the buffet. And at the beginning of the week, you're like, the buffet. I could have prime rib. I could have dessert. I could have soft serve ice cream. Yep.
It's the worst.
Right. But 3 days later, you notice that the prime rib has turned into beef stroganoff, and it's the same desserts. So they're a little crunchy. So it was okay.
But did you leave like a little mark on one of the cheesecakes to see if it was still there spinning around 2 days later? All right, you wait. If you took a break, I just want to sip.
Take a sip.
We are taking a sip break.
We could talk amongst ourselves. Yeah, you're thirsty. Did you just go swimming?
I did not. I went on a treadmill for the first time in like 3 years. My boobs got so big and unwieldy, I didn't want to deal with running. So now they're running size, sort of, and
they're
so
manageable.
I just went on a little short run. I did the elliptical and then went on a little short run just to see how it would feel on my knees. So I'm excited. I'd love to be able to run, just jog, not run, jog, and then take Charmy and just, run around with her,
Yeah. Maybe get some energy out of the dog too. So yeah, because she's only, what is she, a year and a half now, your doggo?
Yeah, about, yeah.
Yeah, so you got it's going to be a little bit till she gets sedentary in her 30s.
Till she matches my energy.
Yeah, it's I bought one of those mats for Gordy that you hide the food in, because he was chewing on the carpet in this room, in the garage room, which I don't really care.
Oh my God.
In this room, he could chew. Right. In this room, all the things in this room are pretty much chewable, but he doesn't chew. He was it was like a loose thread in a carpet remnant I have on the floor. And I thought, if he's going to start chewing on something, I should get him something that he is allowed to. He's not interested. He is not a foraging dog. So I hid treats in the treat thing. It's called a snuffle mat. I have a dog, you guys. Anyway, I hid things in the snuffle mat, and he was like, the look at his face was old man irritated. He's like, where the hell is it? Where is it?
Why are you making it a puzzle? Why are you making him work, Jackie? He's been alive long enough. He's retired.
He's 8. He doesn't have time. He's my age. So he doesn't need it. My dad, I took pictures of my dad's art and posted them to Instagram. And one of my friends from college was like, would he paint my pugs? And I was like, I can't express to you how much my father dislikes A, dogs, and B, being expected to paint from a photo of something. He did Maria Bamford's parents, and it was pretty good, actually.
Neat.
Yeah. And but I said I will ask him, because he also enjoys $100 plus shipping. So breaks up his day.
Sure.
So
let's see. I have I always feel like I'm sort of my old child-free self when I'm in New York. I just sort of wake up when I feel like it. It's been amazing. Like I'm on New York time. I did have one morning where I woke up at 7:30 here, which is 4:30 in California, and I was enraged.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Do you ever go to lunch with anybody?
No, you know what? I'm not going to say who it is, but a comic was like, "Oh my God, you're here! Let's do something. I'll come up to you." And I go, "Oh, that's cool. I'm on 145th." And she's like, "Let me meet you at the club tonight." I don't know why there's so many. And in fact, I went on a big walk today, and so many little restaurants or coffee houses are still open that were because I haven't been back since March of last year, so I was expecting a bloodbath. And then there's this taco place called Jesus Taco or Jesus Taco that I just love because I love that name, and it's still there. I'm so excited.
Well, that's because Jesus saves, and
but there's tons of cute little restaurants up here, so people should come up and make the journey. It's right off the A train. Everyone's so feared. They don't want to go up that many stops.
I don't understand. Geography in general is tough for me. Does it go Harlem and then the Bronx, or does it go Bronx and then Harlem?
Yeah, Harlem, and then the Bronx is a new borough, so it's on top of Manhattan. Harlem is in Manhattan.
And that's right. Its own thing above. Okay, because my friend lives, I think, on like 100. She lives up the A forever in the Bronx.
Yeah,
and so
it goes pretty far up. Yeah, going up in the 200s and stuff like that. Yeah. But it's so you just relax. It's an express stop from 59th to 145th is 2 stops. You just pull out your book, 12 minutes, you're on 145th. And then we're having decent food at a cute little place. Yeah. And there's parklets all over the place, in Manhattan. So I guess it's harder to park at night. It used to be like if you had a car, you could just drive to any gig and no big deal. There's so much parking at night because everyone leaves the city. And now it's all being taken up by little parklets. So it's actually tougher. That's one of the other. It was good to just hang out with comics who I haven't seen in a year and a half, and just sort of soak it up.
Yeah, that was, I have to say that I was planning on going to New York in September, but for me, it's a bigger project, right? And so, but now with the variant, I don't know. I was thinking September, but maybe now January?
Oh, wow. I'm going to come back over Labor Day weekend.
Okay.
As far as I know, unless things go crazy, right?
Yeah. It's I've picked up a couple more weeks, and that's good. I need the work. Well, the Vegas week happened, and then a couple things are still up in the sky, and then I'm opening for Maria and a couple of things. So,
yay.
And so I can't.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. So, but I will. Whoa! I just grabbed my own
passing
photo.
Me secret notes.
Secret notes, and then I grabbed my photo from the top, for no reason. Anyway.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to know who I was chatting with, even though you and Kyle are the only available people. I'm gonna.
Oh, I was just gonna say how my garden is coming in. We came back from the road. We have 3 Armenian cucumbers that are almost a yard long, and they're delicious.
What makes them Armenian? Are they studded with diamonds?
They're wearing a tracksuit. Yeah, they're wearing tracksuits, and it's all.
Do they have DUIs?
Oh my God! And my people smell of fake Giorgio and the Cold War. And it is. They all smell of fake Giorgio in the Cold War. But I will say that. It was so funny. Oh, that's different entirely. But anyway, so right before I left, I had sprayed the garden with this stuff that Emily Huller, great stand-up comic, and gardener, told me to spray with because we had spider fucking mites all over the garden. Spider mites. They turn the plant kind of gray.
Okay.
And it sort of stunts the growth of the fruit of the tomatoes and stuff. So, and it's coming back, which is good. But speaking of Armenians, I went last Sunday. I went to the Armenian picnic at my brother's church, my brother and my dad's church in Milwaukee, and there were 6 priests there, 6. And because the one from Racine came, the one from couple from Chicago came up, the priest that they used to have. Whatever, and
are
so
they
that's
celibate?
There's two kinds of priests in the Armenian church. They have a track for priests who want to get married, but you have to get married before you take your vows. and
Is
then
that the sex track?
it's the sex track, and then there's the sexiest track, which is the celibacy track, where that's
That
the
is
only
hot.
that it's the only track where you get to be the Pope, the Armenian Pope.
Oh, okay.
Only celibate. And if let's say hypothetically, you were discovered to be getting laid a lot, and you were a high sorp, you were a non-married priest. They need priests so bad in the Armenian church. They're like, okay, you have to pick someone and get married now. You can't continue. You can either not be a priest anymore, or you can pick somebody and get married. But you can't just get laid with a bunch of people in the congregation.
Damn.
And of course, no homosexuality. Because
I'm on track to be. Yes, I'm on track to be
the Armenian Pope. Yeah.
Yes.
It's Laurie Kilmartin Catholicos. That's going to be great in the holy city of Etchmansey. And
yeah, sure. You know, remember how I had 3 mattresses on my bed?
Yes.
And I tired of it. And
thank God, it was weird. Princess on the Pea.
It was fun for a little bit, but then I just got tired of having to use a step stool to get on the bed. Like, you want to be able to flop on the bed, right? So I pulled out the middle mattress, which was the hard one, and got rid of it. And currently, I'm trying to give away a chair and a little ottoman. I have my bedroom set up as like a little studio apartment. It is packed to the gills, and I'm like, I gotta declutter this shit. Like, there's no reason I have 2 chairs. Like, I got 2 chairs because I thought, oh, when my son comes with me, he can sit in one chair and I'll sit in the other. But instead, he just lays on the entire bed, and so we don't need 2 chairs. He's never sat in a chair.
No. There's the entertaining. Hopefully.
Yeah.
This I'm gonna say something that you can just tell me to shut the fuck up. It's a golden opportunity for you to get laid in the next 2 nights.
It is, if there were a guy around.
Yeah, there you go. Just because your roomie's not in the because it's weird. I don't know the last time you tried to get laid with a roommate, but it's weird. Oh
yeah, I wouldn't put her through that.
Nobody needs to be. I've been put through that. Nobody needs to be put through that. Let's take a break. Get back to it.
Mm-hmm. I don't even want to put a guy through it, much less a roommate having to be on the other side. Yeah, no, I mean, I guess there's one eligible ex, you know. But,
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't go back. That's going backwards. That's going backwards.
No. To me, that's. Well, yeah, but I mean, sometimes backwards it's a lot safer, right? You know they're not going to murder you. It's like, that guy could have murdered me. He had the opportunity, he didn't. So, and now he's 10 years, 15 years older. He's
and fine, slower, right? Sure.
Yeah.
And if the sex was good, what the heck? By the way, speaking of the sex being good, let's talk about our comic of the week.
Whoa!
Hell yeah!
Wow, that's all on you.
Well, that's on me because I think that she's clearly she's got it all going on. She's a Colorado comic. I believe I worked with her at the Comedy Fort in Fort Collins, and it's Katie Bowman, you guys. Katie Bowman, everybody. Katie Bowman is spelled like Katie Bowman, and her Twitter handle is Katie Bowman Says, because Twitter is full of things that we say, and Katie Bowman is great. She's I don't even
best.
I forgot to check and see if she has an album out.
She does not yet. But,
okay.
But that is somebody who I would like to one day do. So.
Right. Because you should all know Kyle Clark, our beautiful producer, also has an album, a label, a comedy album, label album. That's not a word.
We'll call it that. That's what it is now officially.
It's and so Katie Bowman Says, and so find her and enjoy the good works in Colorado.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know why that came up in the middle of the sex talk, but she's hot. That's why.
If you look at her material, I feel like this all feels pretty on brand.
Yeah, she's an adult woman who's willing to get out there and see the world. And when I say the world, I'm talking about penises. What?
Check out her book, The COVIDian Woman. Lots of nudity in there.
I would rather be brought up after sex than after celibacy talk. Personally, if I had my druthers.
Your druthers, fair enough. You know, Brandy Brown and Tommy Ryman were opening for me. They're both from Minneapolis, and so
yes, we're aware.
Yes, and but the thing is so Tommy headlines Acme, and luckily, you know, and I think I just and he picked up a week after that because you know, Lewis was reminded that he exists, and he had so much new stuff that I hadn't seen because he's done my Zoom Sunday show a couple of times, but that was it, and I was like, man, so funny, and
That's
super
great.
clean, squeak factor 11, the two of them, neither one of them, and it was so weird. But what it did is it set me up to not swear.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
But I mean, did you swear that much?
I had one. I was told that I had one F-bomb, and it was, the words were used, F-bomb. And do you know how much I like the words F-bomb? I don't. Just tell me that I fucking swore, and you'd prefer that I didn't. And let me tell you that there's 4 other shows. And that's the only one I swore at. So.
Oh, so you have a clean version of every chunk?
Yes, except for the 2 jokes that aren't ever going to be clean, right?
Right. Yeah.
That hair tie. It's going to be called hair tie. I've decided, not cock ring. We're going to title that track hair tie, not cock ring.
Oh, I love titling tracks. It's my favorite thing. I can't remember if I titled the track on my first album that I hate now, but I did enjoy just going, well, who's going to want to click on this? You know?
Yeah.
Like if
my first album, the tracks, the Circus People album, all the track titles are the dumbest. When I look back at them, I'm like, nope. What are you, out of your goddamn mind? And I had no input. I had hired a band guy to audio to record me at Acme, and then to master it and mix it, and then and cut it up for me, and it was. I'm trying to figure out whether or not I can bring merch. I'm going to talk about 3 things at once. I'm trying to figure out if I can bring merch to Vegas. The Tropicana probably takes a cut. I don't know if the Laugh Factory lets the Trop take a cut, but I have a question out to Sultanovich has done it, so just curious. So no answer. By the way,
I'm against. Do they do a bunch of work for you? Do they set it up? Do they take? No. So
no.
I'm very against.
I'd rather
taking
not.
a cut.
Yeah, I'd rather not sell it at all. Yeah, but if I brought CDs, the markup on those is real. The markup on the T-shirts and the challenge coins, negligible. And you know, the CDs, I think, are worth $20 because they are my work, you know. And
exactly. And also people drop $20 doesn't mean anything in Las Vegas to people that are out there, because they're dropping 20s all over the place. I mean, if you're vacationing in Las Vegas, you don't value your money. So you know what? You should buy our merch.
Yeah. So maybe I'll just bring CDs, because the Circus People CD, once I sell out of these last, I think I have like 200 left. And remember, I put this thing out in like 2001, and I had 1,000 printed of them. So for the last 20 years, I've been selling Circus People CDs.
People are still shocked by your World Trade Center chunk.
It's in a jewel case, Laurie. It is in a crackable jewel case. And
oh boy.
Yeah, so but when they're gone, they're gone. They'll only be available, I guess, downloadable on Amazon through CD Baby. That's the only place it'll be available. Though now that, and I'm not really thinking of it yet, because I do still have to edit and put everything together for this one. But I am seriously considering doing a half hour with 800 Pound Gorilla of just clean stuff. from the old albums, from the previous 4 albums.
Oh, re-recording it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
That'd be cool.
that's interesting. That's an interesting idea.
Yeah, because then if I have updated any of those jokes, I get to do the tags. And
yeah.
And if
I have
yeah.
Yeah, see, I mean, I have stuff I never recorded. Just I was like, oh, that's all road stuff. I'm a New York comic now, so I don't do those jokes. And some of them are still good, like yeah.
Yeah, and it's a cash cow. It's a cash cow if you can crank it out. So, but it's not. It's like you do the big project, and after you've done the big project, you're like, now what? I'm nothing. I have no project to do, and so there's this crash, this weird.
You sound
crash.
so feminine when you feel so bad about yourself.
Well,
Jackie.
that's where that comes from. It comes from. It's and, I wrote another new joke
but
today.
I'm intrigued.
I wrote a new joke today, and it was.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I have a new joke. I have a new abortion joke of all things.
Excellent.
They just keep coming out of me.
Unlike babies.
So that's exciting, and yeah, I don't know. I'm excited by how a couple bits are shaping up, and
my new joke
Chuck and stuff.
Yeah, both of my new jokes right now are relatively political or socio-political. Like literally, the one I wrote today is about the Civil War, and you're like the current one, not the old one.
Yeah.
And and I was like, cheerful, Jackie. Anything else happening? Anything else happening? And I was given. My sister-in-law gave me this Winston Churchill memoir book for my birthday. That essentially my sister bought the book for my dad. My dad lent the book to my sister-in-law, and my sister-in-law wrapped it and gave it to me for my birthday. And I'm like, this looks very nonfiction-y and dense. Maybe I'll give it to Kilmartin for her birthday.
Please don't. I wonder how it's his memoir. It's by Winston Churchill. I wonder how he. Oh, is it someone else?
No, it's I guess it's his diaries, and then it's only during the Blitz. It's his diaries during the Blitz, and then other London citizens during the Blitz.
Interesting.
And they're all interwoven. Yeah. So
I love his take on how his performance in World War I was, because I think he was Secretary of the Navy.
Burn. Yeah. So was Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah, maybe I'm confusing them. He was or Lord of the HMS Lord of the Navy or something. But I'm fucking forgetting about the absolute botched thing he did that got a bunch of soldiers killed, like right near some water near Turkey. Fuck, whatever.
Is it that?
But anyway,
yeah. So no, Churchill. It doesn't matter what political figure you have canonized. Yeah. They've done something monstrous. There's just there's no getting out of it. You don't get to that level, sadly, without being, you're just like, even if not monstrous, just sort of errors in judgment or feat of play. Even Martin Luther King, right? Who, was incredible. There was infidelity, if I remember correctly. Feel free to fact check that and get on my ass if I'm wrong. But
that's true.
But it was Abraham Lincoln, one of my favorites, murdered a lot of Native Americans during the Civil War. Truman, another one of my favorites, dropped a second bomb. Unnecessary. So, Nagasaki, not necessary. Yeah. Hiroshima, I mean, arguably, but not.
Yeah, I don't know. How much time was there between the two bombs?
3 days, 2 or 3 days.
I do think that's enough time for Japan to go. We'll surrender. I do, but
they were working on it. Yeah, they were working on it. And it was, I mean, and so be it. But the thing is it's, yeah. And I love Truman, a lot of things. So.
Sure. He's a hat man, and I know you love hat men.
I don't love hat men. There's something
That's
about
the rumor I've been spreading about you.
I guess a ball cap. Anyway, and even that feels like Tommy Ryman kept having things. He had his phone and his keys and his wallet were all in his pockets during his set. And so by Friday, I was like, you planning on making a phone call, or do you need your keys when you're up there? Because it's a little distracting. He's like, only for you. Only for you, because you, that's right. I was like, that's because I'm watching all of your sets. And every time, yeah, because I think he's really funny. And so so by Saturday, I think he was taking he was emptying his pockets. I was like, I know you don't trust us, but we're not going to steal your nonsense. And yeah,
I had a yeah. Well, that's true. Maybe he just wanted to run right out of the show into his car and drive away. We don't know. We don't know what his intentions were.
It's just a habit. It's just a performance habit that that I don't enjoy. It's much like wearing a hat on stage. Guys who wear a baseball hat on stage, for example, will also kind of drive me nuts because it's hiding their eyes. Glasses often drive me nuts, but now I've become a person who wears my glasses on stage, so I don't have a leg to stand on there.
Yeah, no, you don't.
It's a great story.
I had a feature recently who was talking to the crowd a lot, right? And I just said, hey, can you turn it down a notch?
Yeah, I want to talk.
Can I just say, I'm no hero, Jackie, okay? But I opened for Jimmy Pardo.
Yep.
I opened for Jimmy Pardo a couple of years ago at Flappers, and he said no crowd work, and I was like, got it, right? And then front row of Flappers is a 13-year-old boy, and I said nothing.
That's good. That's your wheelhouse right there. That was a gift. It was a test.
The greatest act of self-sacrifice that I've ever performed.
Let's take a break.
Okay.
I have this to say about features. I rarely ask them to do anything.
Right.
Because I always think it's their time, right? But if I did a lot of crowd work, and you sometimes do, because the rule when I was coming up was that you save crowd work for the headliner because they might need it. That was the rationale, They're like, if you want, you could tell people to shut up during your set, but other than that, try not to do anything about it because the headliner might need it. So for you to have to ask a feature, and then did he stop?
Yeah. I mean, it was. I don't think whatever the rules are that we learned when we were coming up, no one's telling comics anymore.
Nobody's passing those rules on.
Yeah, everyone's out for themselves, which I can kind of understand. The money hasn't gotten any better. Like, why should anyone follow any rules at this point? Because that's all pretty awful. If you're still getting, it's 2021 and you're getting $500 and no air to feature, which is what we got paid in 1992. Whatever. But of course, if you're going to try to advance your career as quickly as possible, right? But it is, sometimes you're like, oh, I can't believe this person is so dirty right in front of me. Like, I'm always shocked when I see that, and I don't really say anything because I'm like, whatever, I'll figure it out. Only if, and even if someone's like, one time somebody was directly stepping on a joke of mine, but I was like, I'll just not do that joke. I mean, if you're the headliner, you should kind of be able to, you should have another joke you could do.
Well, that was right, and that was the other thing we learned. I mean, there were these rules that were sort of unspoken, or they were told to us, and they were, just sort of in the zeitgeist. And it was, don't do time in between the feature and the headliner unless the headliner asks you to. Just kind of ride that wave of momentum. Try not to be, if the headliner. I remember when I was featuring, if the headliner was dirty, I would do some of my dirty stuff, to sort of get them to take the shock and awe off of it. And if they weren't dirty at all, I would not do any of my dirty stuff because, it's like when you go into a one-nighter in the Dakotas and you talk to the bartender or whoever you're going to talk to, and it's a 2-person show and you're featuring, and you say, is there anything in particular about language or content that you don't enjoy? And they say, yeah, just try to keep it clean. And then you meet the headliner, and when you meet the headliner, you can kind of tell. If you've been doing stand-up long enough to work the road, you can look at a headliner and go, oh, this asshole is going to be an asshole. I can do whatever I want, and he's going to have to dig himself out of it. Or this person is a giant dweeb, and I'm just going to try to set it up for him so he can knock it out of the park if he can. And then 1,000 shades in between that, or maybe just 50 shades.
I agree. I think I would be clean and watch the headliner and see how filthy they were. Like if they didn't say fuck, then I wasn't going to be the one to introduce it the rest of the week. But if they were, if they were like a little dirty, then maybe I'd add in one other joke or something like that, But I never started a week dirty. But also I don't know that there's even that demarcation of what's dirty anymore. Like people just, and that's good and bad, right? Like it should just be, is it funny or not?
Yeah.
But like you could see why Gaffigan would bring his own opener, and you know what I mean? Why certain people bring an opener, because you don't have to watch every set. You don't have to worry that they're gonna, step on shit and stuff like that. You can just focus on because it does get tiring to like always have to watch every act ahead of time to go, just to make sure you guys aren't crossing topics or whatever, you know what I mean? It must be nice to just not worry.
Yeah, I bet you that's great. But I have to say that whenever the topics do get crossed, sometimes I just piggyback on top of it, Jim was talking about that, let's do my take or whatever. And it's just, I think that the rules are still out there in regular road rooms,
Yeah.
But a lot of the, the local stuff where it's not quite like that, right? Where it's hat stores and barbershops and stuff.
Where it's not MC featured headliner. That sort of
not traditional
layout.
Yeah. But I look forward to I look forward to more stand up and getting to do whatever the hell I want this next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I also think like it's always valuable to just be able to contort yourself a little bit. So to be able to not swear during a set, to be able to not go to the crowd during a set, just go up and do pure material, even though your favorite is this, style X, right? But if you can, you'll be in situations where you can't do that. You're going to be in a corporate gig where you can't swear. And you don't want that to be the first time you didn't say that joke without saying cunt.
Right.
Right. Or you're going to be on TV and you're not going to be able to do crowd work. So if you're so used to doing that joke with crowd work up front, figure it out a way to do it without the crowd work, and then now you have a stronger joke, and when you do it with crowd work, you've got extra punchlines. I think.
I do too, and it's interesting because Maria will often talk about how she wants to practice doing crowd work because she likes to try to do the things that she sees other comics do. She's like, other comics do crowd work, I should try to do crowd work. And then I absolutely never have that feeling. I'm like, whatever somebody else is doing on stage, good for you. I wrote these jokes. And so, and I have, that guy that talked during the set.
Yeah.
The first show Friday last weekend. I called him what I call everybody who doesn't really realize how loud they are, which is mumblefuck. And it's on the video. There's a couple of kind of sweet moments in different shows. And I don't remember if it was the Thursday or not, but I go into that gender show and there's this couple in the front row who, when I say there's they, them, they almost jumped up and down. They were like, we're they, them, we're they, them. And they were adorable, these two people. And but if I would have, seen them out in the world, Jackie Cation, 100 years old, I wouldn't have said that's a they, them, that's a they, them. I would have said that's a young gay man and that is a young woman. So that's where I would have been. Nobody wanted to hear me riff that in the moment. And they were so, and my joke about they, them is so sort of kind of, because I am psyched about it, So we all just celebrated it, and I did not question their gender reveal party, which is nice.
Good for you. Yeah.
I would also like a small parade. No, I didn't. No, I don't need. But it was like, it was the most selfless thing since you did not talk to the 13-year-old in front of Jimmy Pardo. Where are we at,
angry
Kyle?
at it.
We have 5 minutes left.
Okay, let's talk about how angry I am at Jimmy Pardo because I missed this opportunity to talk to a 13-year-old boy in the front row. That's it. I just want every once in a while I'll state my fury about a missed opportunity.
I'm doing a voiceover trailer with Jimmy Pardo, a trailer for a TV show, a cartoon pitch, a cartoon show that will be pitched, and so that is the next time I assume I'll be working with Jimmy Pardo. Sunday.
I will tell you that. So the stands in Union Square, and because of that, I've been taking the D or the B to Herald Square, and then transferring to one of the yellow lines, which is NWRQ. And what a powerhouse of a subway line! That I've never had to use that crosstown one, but I love it. I mean,
is that the gray line? Is that
no,
gray
it's
line?
Yellow.
Okay.
No, you're thinking of
that crosstown thing. Okay, yes, that is what I'm thinking of.
Williamsburg. Yeah, no, this one kind of goes diagonally, but across, and it's nonstop trains. I've never waited there for more than 5 minutes, and I love
outstanding. It. How are the trains looking? Did they fix any of them? Do you think that they did?
The same to me.
Because there was trouble. Yeah, they're hanging in there.
Oh, that flooded train station, that was up a couple. I think that was on 157th. That was up a little ways, but 145th is hanging in there. They still have the same broken stuff they had a year and a half ago, basically.
That's too bad, because there was all this time. Yeah.
My spot's at 7:30 tonight at the Broadway, so I'll probably leave here around 6:30 just to give myself the wiggle room. Take the A to the 259th and walk down. It's 2 stops and then I'm there.
That's awesome. And you have 4 sets, all 15-minute sets, and you're going to do the same 15-ish?
Yeah, so I have
probably.
Yes. Yeah. Pretty much, with a few options depending on the crowd, right? But I have 7:30 tonight, and then I head over to the stand for an 8:45. Plenty of room. Tonight's really relaxing, and then I go back for a 10 o'clock at the Broadway, and then I'm on a 10:45 at the Broadway. So it's only one back and forth, and
that's great.
So yeah, that's pretty cool.
That is, we should talk more about, I want to go to New York so bad, and I love it in the fall. Yeah. Because it's, it's crisp. And every decent movie, has an awesome fall kind of, it just feels like When Harry Met Sally, that movie about the stalker. And that's You've Got Mail. Sorry. That's You've Got Mail, not When Harry Met Sally.
But the same co-stars, Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks, right? Right across the street is the pool, and it's full of water right now. And so all day long, it's kids playing Marco Polo. I love it. To me, that's summertime, is kids playing, and then the lifeguard blowing whistle and yelling at people. So that's happening like all day.
I don't think that we could stop at a more bucolic spot.
Yeah, I think that's kind of perfect.